Hello, team. Appreciate everyone dialing in early for this. Jack's just on a call with the festival mentors. So once he's done there, he'll jump over. So if you can just hold with us for 5 or so minutes, then we'll get cracking. Feel free to say hello to each other as people drop in that you may know from other parts of the country.
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm ready to see y'all next week. I'm excited to see all of you guys next week. So,
Where are you from?
I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, but I go to A&M Texarkana.
Oh. Hey, I see everybody.
Oh, what's up, y'all?
So when are y'all flying into LA? On Tuesday or the Monday?
Man, I'm getting there like
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
I gotta catch a train though.
Oh, train?
Yeah, it's mainly
I'll be
plane
in.
tickets from where I'm at. It's like 300.
Or,
Can't do it. But we will make it though. That's for sure.
That's the main thing, that you'll make it there on time. Whether it's plane, train, automobile.
At like 6 in the morning. But we gonna be there.
Is anybody else from LA that's in here?
I mean, I'm from Berkeley, California. I'm from Northern Cali, but I know my way around LA. Not from there.
See all the people on here. What's happening?
There's a couple of other AIM people on this call that you may have seen along the way. Rianne and Blake there are calling in from Sydney, Australia.
Hello.
Hello.
Take off the
I'm Sam, for all of those people that you may have heard from but may not have seen my face. I'm a real person. I'm not just or a machine that responds to your questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person as well. Like I said, Jack will probably be a couple of minutes.
you need to do anything? Just put in cars and stuff?
Look at some icebreaker games.
Okay.
And then once I turn on my computer and check my emails,
Okay.
Was that just someone offering to do an icebreaker game?
Like, what is someone doing? I need to answer pronto.
Okay, I don't have
Probably.
So we got Deswanda's King, Smoothie Fruit.
Is that all King?
Yeah, it's just celebrating.
Oh, turn your video on.
I just suggest for all of you as well, if you chuck your microphone on mute, unless you've got something to say or a question that you want to ask, that'll help you hear everyone else a lot better.
I'm gonna just mute.
This is funny.
See ya. Hey, Umberto, do you mind if I see this meeting from 1 o'clock? We have everyone from the Australia stuff is a meeting. It's like 30 of us, 40 of us.
Oh, yeah.
But it shouldn't take too long, but I already have my PS5.
Okay, do you need to go sit in one of the meeting rooms?
Yeah, do you mind if I do that?
Yeah.
Dude, are you on this call right now?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, can you see me? Like, how do you know me? This is so weird.
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect. All right, bye.
Okay, it's working.
Sam, how many hooded scholars are going to be on the flight?
There's still a little bit of last minute finalization, but the number's sitting at around about 55 at the moment.
Wow.
Wow.
Very
exciting.
exciting, considering one of the young men on this call, Christian Mann, was the only person with a ticket for this plane about 3 months ago.
Oh my God.
It's been a very exciting few months for us all. Like I said, just on a call with the mentors, there's about 130 of them coming along as well. So Jack will obviously give you all a lot more detail and information. It's going to be an incredible group.
Oh my God, I'm missing my call. That's fantastic.
Oh, sorry. It's something.
I'll be back. Yeah, for real. I'll be back.
Ashley, can you not hear us? I'd take that as a no.
It doesn't look like she turned on the microphone setting.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
So
What's
many
up?
people. I am. I'm having fun. Yikes.
What up, guys? How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Just chilling here in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, so that's like 40 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's so many of them. Just scrolling through. It's so many. We about to go to Australia one time.
Like we about to go to Australia once.
Right?
Yo, for real.
But to LA first, though. Man, all right, that's all I want to say.
I'm gonna be in LA, man, early.
I'm gonna see.
Thank you for your patience, crew. I just got a message. Jack's just finishing off the call before this, so we'll hopefully be with us soon. Yes.
Who's JB?
Sorry, was that a question? Ashley, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hi.
There we go. For the new people jumping on as well, if you can just put yourself on mute, unless you want to ask a question or share a little bit about your story or where you're from, or tell us a funny joke that's PG, appropriate.
I'm in the room where I did my interview video, I guess. Same exact room. I don't know if I come in here.
You're going to show us where it all began?
What?
Are you going to show us where this journey all began for you?
This wall right here. That's where it all began. Oh, it actually started through Instagram, but yeah.
So is everybody here from an HBCU?
No, I go to LSU.
I'm from the HBCU.
New Mexico.
I go to Morehouse.
I go to Alcorn.
I'm from Arizona.
I'm from CUNY.
I got a year
from Montana.
But I studied like Africana studies, Black studies. But you know what I'm saying? We actually have a conference coming up, meeting up with like other African Americans, other Southeast colleges, like Texas, New Mexico State, and I'm just at UNM. But yep, yeah, we out here though. These are the founders right here though, behind me. You know, we still ready. We still out here.
Is there anyone staying another day to the 27th?
Oh no, it seemed a little risky. I can't do it, and I got to get back to class.
Yeah, I'm missing enough class already.
That's a
I'm
whole
sitting
week.
until March 1st.
I'm definitely staying another day.
Did someone say they're staying until March 1st?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's so cool.
I haven't been in class for 2 weeks already. So.
Hey guys, how are ya? You want to see my kitties? It's Brendan from Australia, and they're just going for a little bit of a walk on a sunny day.
So cute.
Yeah, so this is Tallulah, and this is Rexy, and this is little Anna doll.
Doll's not creepy.
Beautiful sunny morning here in Australia.
You guys ready for summer in Australia?
Yeah, well, we've been going through it. It's been pretty.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, I'm tired of Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent. 100 degrees, 110 degrees.
Damn.
100 degrees.
She's at 110 degrees.
Hey.
Hide.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
That's like Midlands every day.
Yeah.
How good are all these people?
I've just been waiting for that kind of to come back.
I'm dead.
Who's from Brooklyn? I'm from Brooklyn. I heard somebody said he tired of Brooklyn.
Yeah, we from Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn too.
Nah, it's too cold here right now, bro.
Facts. I'm in Atlanta right now. I go to school in Atlanta, but I'm from Brooklyn.
My family lives in Maine.
Oh yeah, I'm coming in. Yeah, I'm about to be up there. I go to school in North Carolina right now. Though.
Is anybody in here on the West Coast?
Me. I'm from Cali.
I'm from Arizona.
Do you guys...
Arizona.
Oh, sweet. I'm from
We're from
California.
We're in Los Angeles after Australia.
Hi guys, we're from San Jose.
I've been to Mexico right here.
Woo!
From Texas. From Texas.
Awesome.
Where are you guys at from New Mexico?
We are in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at the Institute of American Indian Arts, IAI.
Oh, dang, that's so cool.
Yeah, me too.
Hey.
We're from Montana.
I was like, that's a native. You see her last name.
I know. I was like, they are too.
Yeah, so we'll be there. We'll meet up with you over there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're up in Montana, University of Montana.
Awesome.
Oh, we'll be up there for AHAC.
Oh, really?
We're from MSU.
Play some
Zoe
games
and I
up
are
there.
from MSU, Montana and Bozeman.
Excuse me?
We're from, Zoe and I are from Bozeman.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's good to see you on here.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I was like, I heard everyone saying from like Cali and hot places, and I was like, is anyone snowing?
Cold here right now. I mean, if you
Hello,
can
everybody. Hello, you human beings. Nice to see you all. Apologies, I ran over a little bit. We were just chatting to the festival mentors who had a few extra questions. So, one, what a cool group of people. So I hope you can just see, the cross section of people we've got gathered together. Peter, I know we're following up with you at the moment to work out a solution as to what we might be able to do. So let's carry that conversation offline. And for the group now, we'll walk through I just wanted to walk through some headlines. I've already spoken to all of you at different stages throughout this process. I just want to give you some heads up on some key headlines as we get going for the festival. Is that all good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go for it. I'm just gonna go and chat, and then we'll go from there. If you have your video call on or your audio on, can you just put yourself on mute? So there's nothing. I'm not sure if you can hear me, brother. If you get a moment to chuck yourself on mute on the screen, that'd be awesome. But if not, I'll keep moving. Okay. So most of you, or some of you, will have caught that AIM's left social media. So the setup, the reason why we're on that is our focus is to be the best possible offline group when it comes to communication, and we want to be able to talk about complex, nuanced ideas. And so for us, social media and mainstream media is not where we're going to be operating anymore. We'll actually talk about our communication strategy and what we're doing moving forward with AIM, but we want to be exceptional at being that group who's that offline group. And so what that means for the festival is I really want us to be really present in the moments together. And so we're not going to be taking any photos or filming on the plane. We've got 3 to 4 people that work for us in like the camera world. And they're like, surely, man, like just for, we're going to capture it for history. But no, we're going to be on that plane together, and we're going to be the only ones that know what happened there. And then we're going to be able to share that experience with people through story. But what I want to have is enough of these moments where we get to just be really centered, and we're not looking at a camera whilst we're trying to take in what's going on, or having a camera in the background, which breaks the ice and breaks the magic of what we can create together. So if you want to take a photo outside of the hours of like, hey, I'm in Australia, that's completely cool from my end, but I want these moments when we're all together working through the workshops and on that plane to be really sacred moments. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. The second one is a fun one. On the Monday night, so the festival is alcohol-free, drug and alcohol-free for the 4 to 5 days. There will be jet lag, and there will be a lot of adrenaline pumping through all of us. So how we manage that energy is going to be important. And the night times, look, try your best to get some sleep. I know everyone's going to be excited and want to end up talking to each other maybe till late into the morning, but amongst that, try and get some rest along the way, try and get some rest on the plane. And on the Monday night, we will have a party on the Monday night in a private bar where you can drink alcohol. If you're in Australia, you can drink alcohol if you're over the age of 18. And what I'd say is in that environment, like I went to, I've been invited to X number of functions for 15 years and made an effort that every time I went to like the corporate function or the event or whatever, that I didn't drink alcohol because I knew people were watching me. So if I was in your shoes, I'd just be really cognizant of what you can handle and what control looks like, because it'd be a shocking look if you did those 4 to 5 days, did all the work that you've done, and then you got toasted on the Monday night and made a fool of yourself, and then potentially cause reputational harm to yourself. So I just say within the adrenaline, the energy of everything that's going on, if you do have a drink on that Monday night, really look after yourself and your sense of control and work within your own limits, because they also have a big flight the next day and plenty of work that we've got to do when we get back on the ground. The fun part of does that make sense? Is that clear? I'm going to be treating you guys like you're the president of the United States in terms of responsibility and like maturity. Like, I'm not looking at you as college kids. I'm looking at high school kids when we deal with high school kids as mentees. I'm expecting you to be the greatest, leaders and be wise and mature beyond your years. And I don't see the festival mentors as the ones guiding you. I see you guys as the ones guiding them. So that, in terms of that behavioural expectation, that's the intent that I'm looking for. On the Monday night, if you like to get on the stage, we're going to have an open mic night. So if you have anything you'd like to nominate for yourself to perform, to tell a story, we'll have a backing band, we'll have DJ decks, and we'll have a few microphones. So if you'd like to perform at the open mic night, feel free to send through your nomination form to Jasmine or to Sam or to Ella. And yeah, we'll also collect that on the Friday. But from the festival mentors and the Hood of Scholars, and in our existing organisation, there's a few people that don't mind to perform. So that'll be our night on the Monday night, and then we'll get back on the planes and take off on the following days. You should have all received the checker clearance. So checker is what we're going to use for our volunteer mentors as well. And what you guys are going to see from me from here on out is an absolute non-negotiable stance on child protection. The one thing that could break this dream of what we're all working towards is if we are loose in some areas around child protection and we leave space for child predators to get in and to hurt and harm these children and abuse these children that we're working with. That's our biggest danger sign as we move to this volunteer model. And that's the biggest risk that my board of directors is looking at, our partners are looking at, and that's their biggest piece when they look at volunteers. They're saying, oh, hang on a minute, if you put this in the hands of volunteers, they can't be responsible around child protection. So no, that's the challenge. That's what people are saying, and that's what we have to prove wrong. So our commitment to that, when I say child protection and say policies and procedures, that's got to be your reframing signal to go, I am on here. So that the easy stuff, like the entertaining stuff, the open mic night, like the playtime, that's not what separates AIM from the crop. Like, what separates us from the pack is the fact that we are addicted to the detail, and we make sure that we build the safest possible scalable environments for kids to be a part of. And so on beyond your checker form, when you land on the Thursday, you're going to get a few things. So the first thing you're going to get on the spot is a child protection agreement to sign on to. So that's a declaration that you are safe to work with children and that you agree to uphold all of the AIM values as we work through the festival. On the Monday, we're actually going to have between 100 and 200 Indigenous kids come in for a global mentoring session. We'll actually get to put the AIM model to work, and you guys will get the chance to do that as well. So part of that commitment to say, okay, yeah, I've got this, I understand it. The other thing you're going to get is our policies and procedures, which you'll have to sign off on the spot to say, okay, this is what I understand I'm getting myself in for. And the policies and procedures, they're mainly like moral and ethical based things around safety, health, lack of discrimination, and just making sure that AIM's a safe environment for all of us, and we agree to that. If there's anything in that you feel like you don't understand or you don't want to sign, we'll have our lawyers there and our staff there where we can talk through. But they're basically pretty reasonable things like no sexual harassment. This is what happens around bullying and the things that you would expect. So that's what's coming on the Thursday. The other thing that'll be coming on the Thursday, and our body, for those of the Hooded Scholar applicants that I haven't spoken to in the last 2 to 3 weeks, the other thing we're going to land at the beginning will be the key architectural tools to build this thing. So the key architectural tools to build this thing, it's not the program content, it's not your position description, it's not the yearly plan, it's the agreements. So the agreements that we sign into law with the universities and the high schools, and the 100-year commitment that we look to get signed by the universities and the high schools, that'll be our challenge as we land back on the ground collectively. The Hooded, all of you guys, and AIM as well, because what we do then is we set in plan the change to last a century. And so we'll talk through those agreements and how we're going to try and bring them to life. It might mean, as I've mentioned to many of you, it might mean that your scholarship is 6 months of negotiations back and forth with these 2 institutions to build the bridges for the next 100 years of mentors and Hooded Scholars that are going to come afterwards. And it might mean in some areas that it's signed overnight and we get in the program straight away. But what you will find to make AIM a child-safe environment is there will be no unlocking of the next stage of the program without the first stage being complete. So until we get those agreements locked in, we're not going to bring university students into the program. Until we get our university students all cleared with child protection law trained, we're not going anywhere near working with kids. Until we have 100% of our kids interviewed and onboarded and that they understand their expectations, we're not doing any mentoring sessions. So we're not walking on any of the key critical elements along the way to make sure AIM is safe, you're safe, the mentors are safe, the kids are safe, and this legacy lasts. That this isn't a little flicker of a flame. This thing goes for a century plus, and we seriously change the way the planet works. The next piece I want to talk to is you're going to get an invitation to a Slack channel called How I Came to AIM. That's your audition. So not only do you have us like here to support you and all of your fellow Hooded Scholars that you'll be working with, the festival mentors are there. Look, there's 130 people who have a little bit of influence and power across America who are very interested in your journeys. So when you do that, bring your best self and know that every time you interact with someone, that's another moment where someone's looking at you to go, okay, do I want to back this person? I want to give them more power. And all the power that you can accumulate is more power to the kids you're going to work with. So the How I Came to AIM piece on the Slack channel is your chance to be able to introduce yourself to this world and say, this is who I am, this is where I'm standing. And our stories are the things that make people follow us. So why you guys got selected is you convinced me, you got in that you could convince other people. It's why the university signed on. It's why the high schools have believed in you. And so our story, that's the piece which will allow us to bring people with us continuously. So that invite will come your way. The next one is a huge headline. It's the ETA visa. If you have not got your ETA visa application in, you have to get it in after this phone call. Otherwise, you will run the risk of not being on that flight. If you don't have your ETA visa in, after this phone call, you'll run the risk of not being on the flight. So get your ETA visa in, get your ETA visa in, get your ETA visa in. There's 2 things to call out on that visa piece, and if you'd like to follow up afterwards, that's cool. If not, listen, and then we don't have to repeat it. If you've signed on as a business visa, that you're traveling under a business visa, when you get to customs, you need to tell them you're there for a conference. If you've signed up as a tourist visa, when you get to customs, you need to tell them that you're there for travel. So very simple pieces, otherwise you run the risk of potentially getting turned around as well. And just so checking everyone's engaged as well, one of the things I'll be watching during the festival is when I'm talking, I see you guys. So on the screen, I can see you, I can see your body language, I can see if you're engaged. When I'm talking, the audience, all of that time, all those moments of signals you're sending to me as to how ready you are for this thing. You know, this is 15 years of my life. This is a thing which I believe in more than anything else. I'm willing to give you guys everything, but I'm not going to have my time mucked around with. So the access I give you as a CEO and founder of this organization, the time I've given you already, I want that respected. What I'll talk to at LAX will be the Indigenous experience in Australia. So many of you have read the book. That's part of the reason why I wanted you to understand our history and the cultural history of what we're about to go into. there's a reasonable amount of complexity in any new territory we go into. The respect and understanding we bring when we go to the homeland of AIM and to 60,000 years of history and culture, that moment is going to be really important that we understand the gravity of where we're going. So I'm going to do my best to help add a little bit more colour to that. We're going to land with a welcome to country when we get in there on the Thursday, and you'll have Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on this journey with us. So when we get on the plane, there's actually going to be 3 groups. There's a little surprise that we've pulled out. We'll have festival mentors, between 100 to 130 festival mentors from across the United States. I'll say the same thing to you that I've said to all of our staff. We do not fanboy or fangirl anybody. Anyone that's on this festival with us is here because they want to see things change. You guys are the stars. In the best possible way, you guys are the stars. So we're here to work with you so you can take on as many of these tools so you can get to work and change kids' lives. And what people have done in their other life, let's respectfully engage with them, but let's give everybody the space who is on this flight and who comes out of this festival to be themselves, not to be what they might be known for in their lives. Like, respect them so they get to be Shelley or Philip or Peter or Isaac. They just get to be themselves. And I think that'll create a really safe environment as well. So we'll have our festival mentors, we'll have you guys, and then we're going to have about 20 Indigenous apprentices from Australia who are set to be our first ever hooded scholars as we roll Australia back to being a volunteer-led model. So they'll be on the plane with you guys. They're pretty raw as well, like they're on their journey. And then we'll also have about 20 to 30 of our staff who I'm looking to bet on to say, you guys are going to lead this thing globally for the next 3-5 years and be the heart center of the show. So we'll have about 200 to 220 spots filled on the plane. There's 330 seats on the plane, which means there'll be about 100 left over. So I wish we could have filled it all, but I also didn't want to sacrifice quality. So for all of you that I've selected, I believe that you can deliver on this thing and you can set this thing up for good. I was a lot more scared when it was just Christian Man and we only had one person in about October last year. So I'm really proud of what we've been able to build together as a group of people. I'm proud of your belief and your trust in us, and hopefully we do that justice as we get on the plane and we go out for this experience as well. So that there will be a gap of seats on the plane. So know that hurts me, and I know that I've got more work to do when I get back, and I'm going to try and fill that. But I'm also proud that we're going to be in 50 to 60 locations and getting started straight away. So yeah, that those 100 seats on that plane are definitely, that's what I've got to make up in terms of fundraising and other things afterwards. So I'm not, just so you know, I'm not the guy that gets to throw around cash. This is 15 years of saving up all the pennies for the board of directors to give me the chance to do this. So what we do is we're all on show with this festival, and so you guys amplifying what you have with your 60 will mean that there could be 200 hooded scholars the following year, and we can really continue to change this in America and abroad. The final piece I'll talk to really quickly is just an energy visualization for you guys to try and go in with the energy for this trip. I can hype you. Like, we can get in a room and I could hype you up and you could want to run through walls, like straight away, literally run through a wall. We can do that. And with this group of people, that's not going to be very hard. With all of you, your stories, like, you can hype each other. We could bounce each other off walls. We could operate in 4 to 5 days and feel like we'd invented a whole new world and we were completely inspired and that everything was going to be okay. You would then get home if we tried to stay in that ecstatic energy space, and you'll hit a wall. And you'll hit the ground because you'll be like, man, this is hard and I'm back on my own again. Our job is to be the coals on the fire, not the flame. And that's what I want us to try and go in with, is this centered energy to go, okay, cool. To be cool, calm and collected as we walk through the experience. And by doing that, you'll give yourself the chance to gather it. So being able to listen in the moments, being able to sit, being able to take space and sit at the back of the room and just drink it in, and just, sit in silence, take some notes, to draw, to gather your space in meditation, and just to let yourself harness the energy and not have the energy take over you. That's going to be our challenge, because there's enough electricity in this thing that it'll power a power station. So what our job is to do is to try and sustain that. I'll be trying to do that in the facilitation process. But if you guys meet me halfway, be pumped up. But when we get on that plane, let's pretend like that's normal, that we're getting on a chartered plane. Have some joy as well, but let's try and temper that so we can channel that energy along the way. So that's my final message to you all. And yeah, just wanted to see if there was any questions while you've got me that you wanted to check in on. Otherwise, if that answers it for you, feel free to tap off the call, and we'll see you at LAX in a few days' time. So yeah, if you want to tap off. If you have any questions, I'm happy to hang around for 5 to 10.
I had a question. I didn't hear exactly what you said when you said if you got a tourist ETA. What do you say at customs?
Yeah, so with tourists, you just say that you're there for a holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just like, you know, when I come into the US, no small chat, like just really simple. I'm here for a holiday. If they ask more questions, I'm here to check out Australia. I'm flying back in 4 days' time.
I appreciate that.
I also have another question regarding that.
Yeah, go for it.
So what if they ask like where we're staying or like where we're going? So should we stay
Yep.
at the university?
Yeah, we'll have your accommodation. You can just tell them where you're staying. But part of that will have to, I think, go into your application for your visa or for when you land on the ground where your accommodation is going to be. So you just put down your accommodation and you should be pretty good with that.
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I came in late. You were talking about an open mic and a form that you have to fill out.
Yeah. So we have an open mic night on the Monday night. So if you've got any skills with performing or jumping up on a stage, send a note through to Sam or to Ella or to Jasmine, and we'll try and catch that. And then what we're going to do is we'll chuck this up on Slack as well for you guys once we've inducted you onto the Hooded Scholar channel, and then you'll be able to watch this video back over the next few days.
All right, sweet, thank you.
So Drew from AIM, just a call out, let's make sure that all the crew are onto Slack, and let's get them onto their own channel for the US Hooded Scholars, and let's invite them all to the How I Came to AIM channel as well, and chuck this video into the US Hooded Scholars piece so everyone's got a brief.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yeah, that's right.
When we land, it says 7. Is that in the evening or in the morning? Just so I can know like how to connect to get back home. The initial flight has like an AM PM.
Gotcha. Yeah. When you come back to the United States, it'll be AM. So it'll either be 6 AM or 7 AM if you're leaving on the flight on the 26th. And if you're leaving on the 27th, I'm not exactly sure of the time, but if you check in with Jasmine or with Sam or with Ella or the event website, they'll be able to give you the exact details. But I think we're issuing, from what I know, the tickets are getting issued today, if not tomorrow. So you'll have those details as well explicitly in front of you.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Pleasure.
One question, Jack.
Yo.
I was going to ask, is the Slack channel where we post our minute video of how excited we are to become a Hooded Scholar, or is that something different? You know, we have
can send that. That can go direct to me, please.
Okay.
By email.
So what exactly is the Slack channel for? Are we like just chatting?
Slack, we'll talk a bit more about Slack, but Slack, there's a How I Came to AIM channel we have on Slack. So for induction, for everyone, when they start on their first day, they write their story in the How I Came to AIM channel. So that'll be the first thing that you do. But then there's a bunch of channels on there, which will basically be, that'll be your encyclopedia and your world for how to run AIM. So anytime you got a question, you can chuck it on. Let's say it's about men. I'll show you right now while I got you. Let's say, one moment, please. Let's say we've got a question on failure time. What's failure time like, or how do I run it? I jump on the failure time channel and I type in a question, or I say, Drew, reminder to get all US scholars on here. And then this is just our world. So everyone that's involved with AIM is on here. And basically, instead of having like some static manual where you're like, where information gets old, you just get, and then Drew's chucked a gem on there straight away to acknowledge that he's got that. So I'll do global announcements for us. We have a global chat channel, which has all our staff. So instead of necessarily having one set point that you have to go to, or one inquiries line, you get the access of all of these different lines that we work together on. So that's what Slack is. It's effectively our campfire globally.
And so
Are there
with,
any?
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So that video. So we just sent it to you, Ella. Does it have to be a specific minute value or minimum, maximum?
No, I mean, I would aim for a minute, but really just trying to capture the excitement of this moment of everybody, and then yeah, just send it straight through to me in whatever format you have it. That'd be great.
All right. I'm gonna get on that stuff. So
Rocking.
Peace.
Anything else, crew?
Are there any specific packing requirements or suggestions that you have for us?
Yeah, but I think it hopefully should be in the welcome email as well. But if not, it's summer and we're going to be near the beach. So if you like swimming, there'll be a moment when one of the mornings we'll drop down to a beach, and those of you that want to jump in to the ocean, you can jump into the ocean, and there hopefully won't be sharks. There definitely won't be sharks that are up to your knee level on it. But yeah, if you like to swim, bring some stuff where you can swim, and it'll be pretty hot. So like just hot weather. But if you Google the weather as well, that'll be your friend. Look at what Brendan's dressed pretty well for Australia at the moment. Brendan, can you show your outfit? Yeah. No, sleeves. And
workout gear as well for some exercise.
Workout gear as well. Yeah, good point, Jazz. We'll do some exercise, some yoga. I have a couple of training sessions just so I can get the body moving at different stages. Cool, crew. Okay, I might tap off now. Slack will be your friend for any questions. Between Sam and Ella and Jazz, they're doing their best to go around the clock. If you do have any questions, please do, if you can read through that email, all the emails that have been sent out, and check out the festival website and just see if they answer the questions first, just to save, whilst Jazz and Ella and Sam are doing their best, they're also human. So if there's a question that you can answer yourself, do your best to do that first. And looking forward to seeing you all in a few days' time at LAX to start this remarkable adventure together. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you in a few days.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good
Later.
day. Bye, guys.
Bye.